Let me just take a couple minutes here to clear my energy field. Round a little bit. Chill out. We had a pretty good day though.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
Took Ma for a drive up to the in Benny. We put Ma and Benny in the bourbon, not bourbon in the Ma and the Benny.
Okay.
And then we came back, and then I swooped up Luna, and then we went for a drive. Cause I said I ain't going into town much, man, cause people are crazy, right?
Yeah.
Right? So let's tell stories. No, we got stories to tell. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. They straight up had a freaking shootout
Right out here.
in Red River. See, it's so weird to me, like when people that give themselves authority, right, over anything. Like, I have authority over this city. I have authority over which events can happen. I have authority to say what people can do and what people can't, right? So after they have freaking people wear a freaking mask for 2 years and shut the world down, right? The world was supposed to determine, okay, where is my heart really derived from? You know, what's life really about? People were supposed to go within, you know, and really ask themselves these questions. And what did they do? They ordered a lot of takeout. They put on a lot of weight. They ordered a lot of stuff online for themselves. They became more egocentric instead of less egocentric. And now shit's getting weird. And it's happened. And I know that it was like, I said, all right, when we had to leave Oregon in 2022, I said, all right, God, I don't know where you want us, but we gotta go someplace where we're gonna be safe. We gotta be safe, right? Right? We're like not a big city where people are gonna freaking go crazy and and more of that, you know, smaller areas, less freaking competition. So the dipshits where I live, the powers that be where I live, because it strokes the economy, right? They're all a bunch of circle jerks, right? They stroke the economy. So they're like, hey, let's get a bunch of freaking bikers to come here, right? And then we'll have them drinking and carrying all the time, and we'll just see what happens. So that's what they did, because that's how they stimulate the economy in northern New Mexico. Some freaking... And I'm so, like, not into motorcycles and shit like that. My sister just got killed with her on the back of one in September. So I'm not really a fan of that whole fucking lifestyle where they just, you know, and everybody's like, be careful, be careful, keep an eye out for all the bikers. Dude, I guess I've been around all the ones that are just freaking complete D-bag assholes. You know, that freaking drive like fucktards and stuff, you know. And when I see groups like I did today that are all congregating, like 20 of them, and where are they meeting? Out in front of the freaking liquor store. What are they doing? They're pounding right there in the street, pounding their little liquor bottles before they get on their fucking motorcycles and drive, right? So my landlady's staying out here. I'm surrounded by her family, right? She was just telling me, she's like, that's why I want to fortify this place. She's like, see, here's another one. Here we go. We're going to hear this all night long. There was a shooting up in Red River, which is like 10 miles north and then like 10 miles east. Something like that. They don't even know how many people got shot, so I get to hear this shit all night long. I said, do you understand? And then I was telling the landlady, I said, you understand? I said, for every siren we hear, that's a $70,000, $80,000 truck as somebody that didn't stop the shooting up there. Evidently, 8 people were shot is the last I heard. 4 dead. And then there was another shooting at the hospital where they're taking people to. They're on lockdown. Because you give everybody the right. Not everybody is of sound mind and deserves the right. Right? Yeah, so this is the world we get. A bunch of scumbags ruining it for real decent people. Who, you know, and then I'm like, where's all these people, these Second Amendment people? How do they, you know, well, maybe that's a straight up shootout in a freaking middle of a town. It's 2023. I was telling the landlady, I said, I knew this was coming when I lived in Omaha. And that kid shot all those people in the Van Mar in the mall. And yeah, I just went, you know, just went, because I gotta go. It's just all storylines. It's all stuff. It's all, you know, when people are so easy to control and manipulate, you know, you can, they're coerced into doing all kinds of terrible things. You know, whether it's somebody doing it or they're, you know, they got voices in their head, you know, just whatever. Yeah, there's too many people being torn down in the world, and then they don't got no pieces to put back together, and then they're going around freaking shooting people because they're all hurt and mad about stuff. So it ain't getting, man, and people think I'm crazy. See, and then I say stuff like I did, you know, because I was just telling the guys at the park, I said, this is not the week. This is the week to turn the other cheek. This is not the week to fucking prove that your wiener's bigger than anybody. You know, this is not this is not the week to freaking show up thinking that you're gonna conquer somebody. Because it ain't gonna turn out how people think it's gonna turn out in a lot of ways. And a lot of people are gonna learn some basic physics that they didn't know about how easy it is to freaking cause harm to a human body. It doesn't take as much as people think. So, shootout in Red River. Multiple gunshot victims en route to Holy Cross. Hospital is locked down. Yeah, they're taking him to a hospital and it's locked down. The streets of Red River are showing during Memorial Day weekend in 2015 in this files folder. So this is an old photo. Multiple shootouts in Red River have sent at least 3 gunshot victims to Holy Cross Medical Center this evening. Reportedly putting because they're shut down the city. They're letting people out, but you can't go in. And you know, the landlady, her daughter lives up front. She freaking worked up there. And she just got a new job in town here at a hardware store. And so thank God, if she wouldn't have got that new job, she would have been at the restaurant right downtown. And she don't need that kind of freaking, you know, nobody needs to be around that. So, I don't know. I wonder if this is happening in other cities too.
I bet it's happening. Because once
Between
that kind of,
this is like it's like spreads like wildfire. People's freaking psychologies, the mentalities, they're dissolving. They're breaking down. You know, I thank God that God got us to northern New Mexico from Salem, Oregon, because we are in a much better way than we would have been there. You know? I mean, it's like Walking Dead there already. So, anyway. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Then yesterday and today, was it today? I think it was today too, and yesterday there were tornadoes down in Albuquerque. Tornadoes in Albuquerque. Isn't that trippy? There's just stuff is bringing them in. Weather warfare against its own people. Power, control, fear, manipulation. World's just getting so crazy. So 2 days in a row I was going to do a talk called Make Believe, and both days I totally spaced it and freaking went off on a tangents and never came back around. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about make believe today. And when I was a little girl, they'd put in movies and have us watch TV shows, and I'd get real upset about it, like they were real. I would respond in a real. Mom's over here shaking her head, huh? Like I get real upset, and the emotions that were real. They were very real to me, and they'd say things like, "It's okay. It's just make believe. It's just make believe, right? That it's not, And what the fact of it is what they're saying in with the language is it's not they're not saying it's pretend. They're saying it's make believe. They're trying to get you to make you believe something. Somebody is trying to get somebody to see something a certain kind of way. Make believe. And there's so many like all of those old freaking cartoon movies and stuff, because I grew up with like Wile E. Coyote and stuff like that. I just was such a tender heart that I didn't like it because they were so mean to each other. And I didn't like it when things were mean and ugly and stuff like that. So I was extra sensitive when I'd watch Pinocchio and they'd have the bar scene and talk about, because I was a very receptive child, so long after the movie was over, I would be thinking about the place where they brought the boys where they wouldn't come back boys, and what did they do to them, and all, and stuff like that. And yeah, they hurt them, that's for sure. And they definitely don't come back boys. I've done videos. They had, I did one a couple years back with it was the Lego movie. It was a Lego movie, and they had two brothers in it. And there's so much symbolism and storylines and history in those, even. If people just like pick up the subtle cues and then just go look it up, because like I remember the two brothers were in in a truck and stuff, and so I was looking up the stickers on the truck and things like that, and somehow it was around the same genre of the Kroc brothers. It's so funny. I was thinking about that today. Not my whole trip. This song, Selena, Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. It used to be on a tape reel when I worked at a restaurant called Chevy's. That it would be on like every 2.5 hours. I had like a little sweep routine I did with it. You gotta have fun when you're doing stupid shit. And sweeping an entire restaurant is stupid. Anyway, so how you doing today, Ma? I was going to talk about other stuff about make-believe. And now things are getting so weird. But it's nothing that I knew that didn't already exist. Whether it existed in technology that... Because, like, we talked about this when I was in college back in the early 2000s. About software. I mean, they've had the software where they could edit people's voices and splice it and make them say... And now... shoot, whatever happens with AI at this point, it's what we get. Because here it is. And then I saw the night before last, they, FDA, do they give a shit about people at all anymore? I mean, what do they exist? Are they just like a club? Like if you have enough money, you take it to the FDA and you pay them, and then the FDA says, yeah, you can make your shit. Is that what they're about? I mean, cause like now they got permission to freaking. I wonder which dumbass is gonna be the first human being. Hey, Muskrat, will you be the first human being to put one of your own chips in your brain? You do it. You first. Come on, Muskrat, let it be you. Then you can remote control your own self. Maybe you can direct your guide and your consciousness in a place that is. God, man, people like him, dude. And of course, he's like one of those Nick Cannon guys, you know. They just got, I'm gonna make as many people, I'm gonna just spread my bloodline around. You know what happens the more people spread their bloodline? It's like their bloodline gets freaking like so saturated. I would think it would be like, oh, is that what like inbred people are? You just did it too much. I mean, you spread yourself around. Not enough, not leaving enough of your good parts. Dude, the world is headed in such a trippy place. At least people are freaking listening. Because my landlady, she was like, you said it. They're like, you said it. You just said. You just said. Because I'm like, yeah, man. I did take Mom up for a drive. We went up to the bridge. That was cool, huh, Mom? We drove over the bridge so Mom got to see the Rio Grande. That was pretty sweet. Then I went into town. I was going to get some chicken, but I ended up just getting a sandwich. I split it with Luna. We went the back way through Arroyo Seco. I'm going to post a video of Mom and me driving back. I think it's funny, Mom, when I start to type in Arroyo, it comes up with the Rio Grande, California. Evidently, it's so weird to me how like there's Indians everywhere, there's Native Americans everywhere, and they're so fucking commercial. It's like they sold out. It's like it's like, well, the white man took all of our land, so we'll just do what the white man, you know. And so they do all, they got like they straight up. It feels like it's just like weird to me. It's a thing called Dennis Hopper Days. Dennis Hopper, evidently, he was in Easy Rider. Easy Rider they made around here someplace. It's like one of the only thing that's ever happened in this area, I guess. And so, it's just weird to me. And then it's like, everywhere I go, even here, there are these, like, I came out of Tractor Supply, or I go into Tractor Supply, and then there's like this non-for-profit, and there's this table, and they have keychains and stuff, and they're like, here's another, see, this is going to be like this all night long. It's going to be like this all night long, because they're going to freaking, dude, they're the second lowest test score in the military entrance exam. Police are just, they might be swell guys. They're just not real smart guys. So that's why it takes them. And they're just let themselves go so much. It breaks my heart to see all these pictures of them standing around with their freaking, they're just come on, man. Do better for yourself, for shit's sake. Don't people understand that when you take care of yourself first, like, put an effort in, go for a walk, work more, output more than input, it says something about you. Like you value life. Like you care enough to get up and do something. You know? That's a lot of couch sitting for people to get like that. That's a lot. That's not, I mean, I get the occasional, oh, I'm not overweight because I'm really fit. I just got a thyroid problem. Yeah, that happens every now and again. But for everybody else, not everybody's got a thyroid problem. Everybody's going around acting like they got physical conditions, that keep them from taking care of themselves. And the fact is they're just lazy. That's it. Whole world got real lazy. And then what happens because I'm speaking from my experience. When I got lazy in my life and I was near 200 pounds, man, I had rolls, back fat on me. I was so uncomfortable. I didn't have any kid. It's not like I was pregnant and had a baby. No. It wasn't like that. No. I was just ate my feelings. Because I was so happy, so I thought. I wasn't happy. So I got and then I got freaking everything hurt. I was uncomfortable. It was harder to be friendly to people because I was miserable. I know how it works. I've been there. All the white people telling me, "Oh, you don't get to be ugly to people just because you made the choices that you made." My whole life, people have been saying, "Yeah, your life is your fault." Yeah, I know it's my fault. I know my life would be in a much different place if I would have done what all those people, everybody. There's not one single person that I know. Nope, I take it back, Mr. Iskey. He said, you got to take care of your parents, Marge. You got to take care of your mom, Marge. It's just what we're supposed to do. I've always done it, but he's just the only one that's ever said it. Everyone else, even my brother said, you got to put her in a home, Marge. You got to go live your own life and have your own life, and that's what people do. They do that, right? And then at the end of their lives, they think about all the time they spent on their bullshit instead of being with their loved ones, and they have all this regret and all this remorse. And I made the choice that I know, because I always pay attention to the elders and what they say and the things that matter, and none of it's ever been a job or a title or an annual salary. That's never been on anybody's list at the end of their life of things that, It's always like, man, I wish I would have taken more time to spend with the people that I love. Well, I spent all my time with the things that I love, and it's and that's how I learned about careful what you wish for. And it's also how I learned about, too much of a good thing can be hard, real hard. I mean, I remember going to the office every day and I'd leave, and I'd call Mom throughout the day and ask how the dogs were doing. And I'd think, man, it would just be cool to hang out with them all day and not have to come to this, crawl around on the desk and put up with people's bullshit and their filth. And cause I'd have to, dude, some people, their keyboards, I would put on rubber gloves to touch it because they're so filthy. And I know what people do, so I'm not gonna freaking act like I don't sugarcoat nothing. So people are filthy anyway. But and then so I was like, well, what would it be like? It would be. I'm just grateful that God has blessed me with a life that I can be a stay-at-home daughter and take care of Mom. And and he looks like he's opening up things for me that I'll be able to do things, just word of mouth for a couple hours here and there. I already got a gig with the lady, and I knew it. I told her, I said, the community is going to come through for you. You don't got to worry about that. I said, and then what you do is you take the opportunity and you build back better. So, She closed the restaurant. I got. It was like her restaurant closes at 3. I got a message pretty quick at like 3:20 from her, saying, "Is this Marge?" I was like, "Yeah, she's from New Zealand."
Oh, that's her.
I don't know if I've ever known anyone from New Zealand. I met people from Australia, but New Zealand's its own little bleep. That's a ways. So I like to hear stories about where other people are from. And then I like to ask them questions. So I'm gonna go check out a freezer or an ice maker or something like that she has. She's like, she said, because I told her I'd look at, like, I'd help her with security cameras if she wanted or whatever. And then she came back with this freezer thing. I said, yeah, I was flight like, there's not really anything I can't fix. There really isn't. And she's going to find a manual for me to look at. I don't really need a manual. It'll be good for reference. I just got that kind of... I'm like the good doctor with, like, technical stuff. I can do it with people, too. I was the one that diagnosed Mom's hernia. Like, I saw that she had a lump on her stomach, and I said, "Mom, that's what your stomach looks like. What, when dogs get hernias, that's what it looks like." And so, lo and behold, went to the doctor, and it was, I wonder what astrological placement that is, because she and my brother, they both had a hernia operation within, like, it was like one was 1 week and the next was the other. It was so peculiar how that happened. Anyway, make believe. I think it's hilarious. I'm finding these old letters that Mom wrote, and Mom was a really, really. I was telling. Go ahead, bud. Get some water. Good boy, sweet man. I said Mom was really an engaged parent. And I remember she took, like, early childhood development courses and stuff like that. Probably because I was such a handful, huh, Ma? I wasn't a regular kid, was I? I had, and so I reading these letters, you know, and I remember all the conversations that she had. Like, is this why you really feel that way, or what's really, you know, like. So I've been talking about my feelings for a really long time. It's just other people aren't into it. They're not into it. I was listening. It was such a peculiar thing. I was listening to Robert Phoenix, his show from yesterday with that Russ guy. And I'm just thinking, what am I fucking hearing? He was talking about his friend that's a psychiatrist, and how his psychiatrist friend would tell him about his cases. Now, my dad, people do this, like HIPAA, whatever, dude. You got doctors and stuff. They're always telling you about other people's cases. People aren't supposed to discuss it at all, yet this is how the stories get out. Good boy, Tuck. So he's talking about a psychiatrist that is talking with all these people and is putting all this together, comprising a picture of, like, a whole network of connected SCR abuse. And then, and I wrote in the comments, I said, your friend is a piece of crap for not freaking at least trying to tell somebody. Just kept that to yourself, you know? Yeah, I get the whole client, patient, and tells people are getting hurt, and there's, like, an organized ring of freaking death, harm, and mayhem that scars people for freaking generations. And, like, the chat's just, oh yeah, everything's great. Nobody's paying it. Nobody hears this. I'm the only one that hears it like this? Really? Hi, chat. I can't participate in life much. It's not fun, man. It's getting straight up freaking dangerous, too. But that's alright, because you know what I'll do, Ma? I'll get up and I'll go out at like 7 o'clock in the morning, right when the scumbags start passing out before the sun comes out, and the vampires and the leeches and the parasites and the scoundrels. All those people that are just up all night doing nothing but no good nothing. And another thing that I heard on Robert Phoenix is how the coaches, I've heard, ever since I was a little girl, they've said nothing good happens past 10 o'clock at night. You don't need to, you don't need to be out past 10 o'clock. It's just a rule of thumb that we were always taught, and he said that the sports coaches always said that, which makes me think it's always the sports coaches that are connected, with the fraternal order of bullshit is what I call it. So yeah, they're probably ones that are they're probably the reasons why they tell their young men that they need to stay in at night. Is what I'm thinking, but I don't know. Even people that are supposed to be so like dialed in and freaking in tune to it's just like I feel like they're just missing the mark too. I feel like they're just missing the mark, missing the mark, missing the mark. I thought about freaking getting a reading by him, and then it's just like, you know what? I would get annoyed. Because there was a time not too long ago that people from his chat did come over and check me out, and then they decided that, they dipped their toe, and then I was like, and then they're like, oh God, no. They didn't like it, so they jumped ship. So I would get really fucking annoyed if he decided to read my chart and then to share who Marge is, because his chat doesn't get to know me. They don't deserve to, because if they couldn't see for themselves on my own merit, just stay away. Just stay away. Wendy. Play for my son. I'm like, oh, God's freaking helping kids pass tests in school? No, he just has a lot of anxiety because of the test. Yeah? So who's putting the pressure on him? Himself or you? I'm sure however that he comes out, you're going to love him no matter what, so he'll be okay. I'm sorry. I came from a place of hell, so these people that live in bubbles, they just fucking crack me up, man. They're amusing because they're going to have a really hard time with this next part. This shaking out of the rug. Oh, yeah. Because people are still doing it. They're still going around. They're still doing their conferences. They're not getting it. That's all right. Doesn't bother me one bit. God delivered us right where we're supposed to be for this next part, huh? We're just going to hang out, The landlady wants to fortify the compound. Put a privacy fence around the whole thing with one entrance and exit, point of entrance and exit. She's an Aries. It's so cool to be around a chick that's another Aries, and she's older too. So I value her experience with people, you know. And we both appreciate God a great deal. And I told her, I said, because when she came knocking on the door and she was like, there's a shooting in Red River, they're locking like ever they're and then her daughter-in-law, I said, what a wonderful thing that you're here with us, with your family, you know, that we're all together, that, you know. And she was, and I said, isn't it? And then I came back inside for a second, and then it occurred to me, I said, and then I went back out, I said, and isn't it even more glorious? Isn't, thank God that freaking your daughter started her new job today in town, clear from danger, or from that danger. She was like, yeah, 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 yeah. So, and see, because, you know, something that people don't understand, it's Memorial Weekend, okay? A lot of people have died in other countries that we didn't have any business being in. Loved ones lost, you know, that shouldn't have been, just for nonsensical reasons. The oxymoron of national, of what? I don't even know. It's like they come up with a reason, we decimate people in other places. It's terribly, it's a lot of bad karma, right? What we're seeing is World War III is of the spiritual variety. Okay? People are going to have to take personal choices every day. Am I going to live for my spirit, or am I going to live for my ego? More people on the planet live from their ego. We're going to see more stuff like we're, you know, all over. Everybody's going to get their chance to ride. I've been around several freaking shootings in my life. If the older you get, the more you are, because everybody has that right. So just duck and cover and hide, right? So the thing of it is, with all the karma that just is just like seeped into this land, every time an evil, dirty deed has been done, it puts a negative imprint. It scars the earth. Every single time that happens, and it's happened to a point that I feel like it's happened more, and so there's like more black spots on the nation than like white light spots, where good things happened, where people fell in love, or, you know, had a baby or stuff like that. It's just all been covered up, right? So I've been saying for years, you know, we might not see like planes from, you know, it's just like cars. All the planes end up in all the countries, so it's like, anyway, we might not see war on U.S. soil like people think, but we are seeing war zones in terms of aftermath of shootings and storms and I mean, we're gonna get, people are gonna, I don't like it. I don't like hearing all the motorcycles. I don't like all the ruckus. I don't like booms. I don't like any of it. I have no choice. This is the world that I just get to drown out, because people are just living their fucking lives being assholes, getting drunk. And why would you what could somebody say in a freaking small ski town? Like, what? You don't like their, what? So they insult your mom? Like, what could somebody say? If you can't holster your weapon while being really fucking annoyed, you got no reason. Because too many people are going around shooting people because they just don't like them and they're annoyed. And then they say after the fact, oh, I felt threatened. That's bullshit. You felt annoyed. So, Well, see, the thing of it is New Mexico. It's already it's this place is known for being lawless. The revolving doors on the jails. There are people that should be locked up and aren't. You know, the people that have the badges sell the narcs. It's all freaking, you know, a freaking gross business. It's all about money. I wonder what the world would be if people were valued over money. So, hey Jay. Hey Kev man. See? Kev man, people are getting hurt too. A lot. Because they're slow down. They're thinking. I got a question. So when you hurt your foot, what were you thinking about? Because were you thinking about what you were doing? Because I always, every time I get hurt or I cut myself, I always take a snapshot of what I was thinking about that moment, that instant. I hope it feels bad. I hate twisting my ankle. I'm starting to do a thing with my right tendons. On my right angle, more cops. It's going to be all night long. Where it feels like a guitar strum going across it when I go out a hill when I take one of the dogs out. Yeah, the whole fucking world is make believe. I think it's hilarious that like I was watching an episode of Rockford Files the other night. That show is so I dig it. I freaking just dig it. It started the same year I was born. It started in October. I was born in April. And this episode, it was the 4th season, 9th episode of the 4th season. And they kept saying, when they were describing the guy, he was a 32nd Freemason. And they kept saying, like he was from a small town in Deer something, Michigan. And I just remember saying, why do they keep making a point of saying, you know, and see, now, as far as my experience, I have direct experience with, because I remember going inside the lodge, a gal I used to hang out with, she was 18, I was 15. I was always an old soul. And I didn't make stupid choices, so Mom gave me a lot of freedom, huh, Ma? Well, no, I don't know how much choice she had. I had a lot of freedom, and anyway, so I mean, like my first trip was with Joyce. I was 15. Anyway, her dad was, somebody was somehow involved in the Masonic Lodge in Reading on the 40th parallel. Now, she invited me and some of her friends to wear these big hoop dresses. They call them the Rainbow Girls. To come and do something, and you stand here. And the thing of it is me and dresses is not anything that I do. Comfort, no. So I was like, yeah, I ain't ever doing it again. I did it for the experience, and it was just so trippy. Because I think about, like, the people and where they are now and what they have. Everything's about connection. I've always understood that. I never thought it was, like, one group. I just always thought that there were networks of people that were connected, and that their will overrode the will of what the collective environment wants. And that is what I am adamantly against. And I will frickin' speak out against it until my last breath. So, just the bullshit. Like, the bullshit that they allow, like fucking drunken bikers to party all weekend. You know, you can't get a speed bump out front. It just don't add, or they can't get the switchback opened up. You know what I mean? That would help people. You know, it's like it's an imbalance of ego versus spirit. So, and that's what happened. And, you know, we're in New Mexico. We're in like some people have different names of this. This place is such a weird place. So for all the land that's been tainted, you know, people are going to get their experience to see how they're going to show up. Because in history, everybody that has been in history, that spirit, that being, that spirit is alive today. So a lot of people are having recall. You know, a lot of planetary alignments are happening right now that haven't been around in a very, very, very long time. Think about where our souls were. I think about where my soul was in my bloodline and my storyline. I think about where it was 243 years ago. Wow. And what the land was like, and how I probably am in the same part of the country that I was then, even. And that's how miraculous energy is with ley lines and guide storylines. People think I look kind of savage, too. My skin's getting browner, closer to the sun I get. So I still don't like to spend a lot of time out there, but no such thing as marrying up. That's funny. No, that's cool, Kev. You need to rest. Even coming off that bout, how's your son-in-law? He was sick. People are going through it, huh, Ma? We're okay. Tucker's or Ben Artie's liver's high. I haven't even like raised my voice or gotten crabby. You know, I just don't, because I believe that's why, like, because he's been so stressed, because I've been stressed, and he picks up my stress, and that puts harm on his liver. So I'm just trying to let him know that we're not stressed anymore, that he doesn't have to worry, that everything's okay all the time. He's a good boy, and I'm trying to, and so tomorrow, or not tomorrow, I'm not going into town until Monday. I want to go in and get like blueberries and stuff like that, because he loves them and he likes to eat them, and I'm gonna mix them with like yogurt and peanut butter, high protein, make him like smoothie, ice pops. Maybe put some tuna in there. So, anyway. Yeah, that universe tells us to slow down. I've almost hurt myself a couple of times the last couple of days, and I'm like, all right. Hey, PETA, how you doing? How are things down under? I keep getting notifications that there's like fires and stuff down there. Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. Jay is like, I was telling Mom, it's like, I'm so conflicted about getting a firearm. And that's the thing, is like, I feel like as soon as I got one, maybe I would get a BB gun. You know it? Maybe I get one of those high-powered air rifles and just like sting them in the ass. And not shoot to kill, even though they're trying to kill me. I got situations like that. I don't know. I've disassociated so many times. It's like that when everybody else says that it's in slow motion. That's when I react. That's like the ethers. That's where I'm like pounce. So. And plus, I've been watching these shows my whole entire life, man. I mean, my whole life. I mean, from the A-Team to freaking Rockford Five. I mean, all of this stuff is about getting out of freaking precarious predicaments. And not even including the times that I've gotten out of very precarious predicaments in real life. where God has just like I mean, when I remember watching The Matrix, and it was the first time that like dude was on, or chick was like guiding him, go this way, go that way. And I was like, yeah, that's how I always feel with God, when I'm just doing the next right thing. It works out like that, you know? And I just pray. What I encourage people to do, I think it would behoove people that if I'm out and around anybody, any place where there's a live active shooting, I would be like, phones out, right? Because, just because people will be like, well, obviously take cover. Obviously take cover first. Everybody, phones out, and then freaking just start praying. And the only even if the phones are down, just connecting all of those people, that network, and just having all of those people wherever they are, and I would just be yelling a prayer. I would just be talking to God. Who fucking cares, dude? If we're gonna die, we're gonna see him anyway, But really have the prayer warriors step up. Could you imagine what it would be like to somebody that had a gun, and you're just surrounded by people that just started praying and just like, dear God, help this man, relieve this person of whatever is just gripping them, where they feel like they're compelled, that they have no choice but to do anything to cause harm. What would the world would look like if more people start doing that? If that shit started trending, I don't know. We'll see. I'll just put the intentions out there. It's never my idea. I never claim these ideas. I am just but a vessel. So, the you need a good guy. The asshole next door where I used to live. It was so funny. He was a drunken idiot, and he claimed he was a self-proclaimed nice guy with a gun. I was like, yeah, I've met so many fucking nice guys with a gun. They're fucking machismos, man. They fucking hate me. I'll take their gun and frickin' whack them in the head with their own gun. I don't fucking whatever, stupid dumbasses. There's no place. There's criminals everywhere. Everywhere. The whole world. This is the trajectory that we've been heading for years. Just because people are compelled to live for themselves and go out and live and do whatever they want. Just based on that. It has collectively gotten us to this point. People don't even recognize and acknowledge how nutty people how freaking alcohol makes people crazy. Was alcohol involved in today's freaking mass shooting in Red River, New Mexico? Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's all right, because you got, you can shoot and drink. That's okay. So now we live in lawless lands. So where are all the courses? I'm willing to teach folks how to teach themselves to stay safe. And, where are these classes? The self-defense classes on how to stay safe in life-active shootings? It's the new norm. It's just how things are. Concerts, enter at your own risk. Anything in large venues? Yes, you have every right to go live your life. Just know that there's more nutty people out there. Because free will has just run to a point that is just completely rampant. So this is just what we're going to get. So I don't know if I'd want to live in a place without criminals. That's a whole lot of people that haven't done anything for a very long time. That just seems like a lot of people that have a potential to crack at any given time. Because criminals, at least you can recognize their patterns of deceit. People that have like stuffed it doesn't mean it's not still there. I gotta put the plants on the lights. So I don't like guns. I really don't. I'm good with guns. I was telling Mom earlier, though, I said I can ruin somebody's day with a can of soup. It don't matter. I said, it was like Mr. Iski and I were talking about that the other day. Anything's a weapon. Everything's a weapon. You know? You get those cans of freaking wasp spray. That's a weapon. From freaking 20 feet away, you ruin somebody's worlds. Somebody drown somebody in poison. You don't need a gun to do that. And it's way worse than mace because it's a foam and it fucking expands. Same principle with freaking fire extinguishers. You know? Somebody breaks in with my house in the middle of the night, I'm gonna freaking douse them with my freaking wasp spray and then hit them with my freaking fire extinguisher. I just hope they don't, if they got a gun, I hope they don't hit no major organs. Because ain't nobody gonna take care of Mom like I do. Ain't nobody gonna step up to do the job. We have more fun than anything, though. Huh, Ma? We were walking around there. We were sitting on the porch today. It was fun, huh? It was a good day. We went up and I made that video of, I uploaded it, of driving her up there. And Benny went. He's over there sleeping. Over there, Mom, by the window. It was a good day. I overdid it with the dumbbells the other day, so I just am kind of chilling. But I hope people are doing good, man. God, I'm so glad we don't live in a big city. Hey, man, if people ever want to duck out and come back in time, come out to Taos and visit. Yeah. Come out and visit. There's places to stay. I think there's direct flights directly into Taos, New Mexico. I have no idea what flights cost or anything like that. It is a trip. There is like, I don't know. I don't give a shit about like any of the O'Keeffe's or any of this trendy shit. It is a pretty place, and I think it's amazing that God brought us back here and Mom was born around here. And it's a beautiful place, and there's a lot of really cool people, and it's a nice place to be for the end of the world as we knew it. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing is like, I'm like, God, what is the darkness in me? You know? I know it's my temper and stuff like that. Good boy, Tuck. Good boy. Good boy, Tuck. Good boy. Here, you want that one? Which way are you going? Let's go, Buds. There you go, Buds. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Tuck. And people like to do all that trendy shit. I could tell, I mean, there's places like, I won't do that stuff, like hot air balloons and stuff like that. There's, but I think I'm going to go get me a fishing pole. Yeah, start fishing again. Just catch and release. I don't really like eating them, so I just like throwing my hook in and reeling it in, throwing it in, trying to figure out where they are, trying to be the fish, you know, like the incredible Mr. Limpet. Like, where would he be? All right, I could think like him. That'd be cool, Jessica. Maybe one day I'll make enough money. I tried to transfer a voucher that I had for when my sister went her memorial that I couldn't go to, and they wouldn't. It was just I hate airline. I just would rather drive.
Babe, wouldn't you rather?
There's just such bullshit. How much money have companies made from fucking robbing people? It's just complete horse shit. Just drives me crazy. How long have I been going? Oh shit, an hour. Well, dude, this place is healing me. I am chilling out. I mean, I'm still gonna have my bad days. I understand. But still, my worst days now are better than any of my best days have been for the last 6 years.
That's good. That's very good.
And for that, I'm grateful. That's all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace. My eyes burn. I wonder if they're gonna let people burn soon.